Please be seated. And welcome to this glorious day. It is so wonderful to have all of you with us, to see all of our students in person at one time, have members of our faculty here. I want to welcome you to the 155th commencement of Bates College. Whether you are joining us in person on Bates Historic Quad or by live stream from across the country and around the world, we are delighted to have you with us on this joyous occasion. This is the moment when we gather as a community to celebrate the accomplishments and aspirations of the class of 2021. Seniors, yours is most definitely a unique class whose experience was cleaved nearly in two: the pre-pandemic before times, followed by pandemic mode, beginning in March of your junior year. So it makes sense that this culminating moment as well would be a little different from our usual practice. Only half your class is here, along with representatives of the faculty rather than the faculty as a whole. It's a Thursday afternoon, not a Sunday morning, and everyone, except the speaker, is wearing masks. Let's take a moment to offer a round of applause. Students, take a moment for all your wonderfully supportive professors, families, friends, and loved ones here or spread across the globe. In the face of constant change and adaptation over the past year and a half, you have been behind these students, supporting and encouraging them along the way. Thank you. While we gather to celebrate the achievements of the members of the class of 2021, it is also our tradition to mark the Memorial Day holiday. In honor of the many who have served and sacrificed so much, we express our gratitude. Members of the class of 21, you are a remarkably accomplished group. We will celebrate and honor 469 seniors by the time this afternoon is finished, representing 38 states, the District of Columbia, and 43 countries. 65 of you are the first in your family to graduate from college. You have knit this campus and community together over the past 4 years through your engagement and leadership as RCs and JAs, club presidents, members of the student government, debaters, and athletes. You have inspired us with your remarkable intellectual accomplishments, recently on display at the Mount David Summit, and with your gifts of music, theater, dance, and art making. You have served as OIE, Multifaith, Admission, and Purposeful Work Fellows, as eco-reps and Bonner leaders, and so much more. 263 of you have studied abroad, 97 of you are double majors, and 1 of you is a triple major. 32 of you received departmental honors for a year-long thesis, and 2 of you received honors for 2 theses. 40% of you have participated in a varsity sport while at Bates, many winning all NESCAC and all American honors. 2 of you have won Fulbright fellowships, and 1 of you has won a Watson Fellowship. All this you have achieved while giving back. In a year in which public schools were closed, you have tutored, mentored, and developed online learning activities for hundreds of students in our local schools. And you have worked with a broad array of community organizations doing research, volunteering, and completing course-based projects. Along the way, I know that you have learned a few things in your classes, from your professors, and from one another. And over the past 15 months, the world has taught us all lessons that we didn't sign up for and probably would not have chosen. I'm not speaking here of lessons in remote learning, in making friends from behind masks, or in finding places to eat your grab-and-go dinner when it's 10 degrees outside. I'm thinking of more difficult and painful lessons. This year has confronted all of us with truths that have long been clear to many, but are often not apparent to the most privileged among us. We have been reminded powerfully these past months that the social structures that support us are both highly fragile and deeply unjust. We have seen firsthand that globalism means more than the ease of travel and free flow of goods and services. Indeed, our fates are intertwined with those billions of others on this small planet we inhabit together, and national borders are meaningless in the face of a viral foe. Many of you have had deeply personal experiences of grief and loss. You've lost family members to COVID at a time when you were not able to gather with loved ones to honor and mourn them. Friendships have waned because of distance and constraint, and you may wonder whether they can be recovered. For some of you, the love of learning that brought you to Bates has been stretched to the breaking point by the pace and pressure of modules, the limitations of Zoom, and the loss of joy and insight that come from the spontaneity of being actually physically present with classmates on a journey together with a fabulous professor. You, the class of 2021, have learned some hard lessons that may stick with you longer than the things we thought we were here to teach you and that you thought you came here to learn. But I hope that you have gained in good ways as well from these experiences. I think it's safe to say that many of us did our share of streaming in this year of lockdown. I certainly did. And when the British crime dramas ran out, I moved on to Ted Lasso. For those of you who haven't seen it, it's a show about an American college football coach who goes to England to coach a British football, meaning soccer team, in the Premier League. If you didn't watch the series, that's about all you need to know about the premise. Ted Lasso is from Kansas. He is goofy and earnest and full of folksy sayings, but he is also deeply empathetic and sneakily wise. Predictably, he ends up teaching his players a lot more than just football. As he puts it, for me, success is not about the wins and losses. It's about helping these young fellows be the best version of themselves on and off the field. In Ted Lasso, I see some of the very best qualities of the class of 2021. Qualities that shone throughout your Bates career, but especially in the ways you stepped up to meet the challenges of senior year. At one point, when he's going through personal difficulties of his own, Coach Lasso observes that there's something worse out there than being sad, and that is being alone and being sad. Ted believes in the power of the team, the things we experience together that bind us for life. We like to think that any class graduating from Bates feels a special bond, but there will always be something extra special about the class of 2021, with all that you went through together and the trust you placed in each other and in the college. Your flexibility, your solid efforts, at least until the last couple weeks, to follow irksome public health guidelines, and your perseverance has allowed us to keep the college operating safely and your lives moving forward in the face of some pretty high hurdles. The lessons of these past 4 years and these past 15 months are part of you now, and they will stay with you as you begin your journey onward from Bates. Alberto Rios, the inaugural Poet Laureate of Arizona, offers reasons for hope and optimism as you embark on this next chapter of your lives. What we bring finally into the new day, every day, says Rios, is ourselves. And that's all we need to start. That's everything we require to keep going. Look back only for as long as you must, then go forward into the history you will make. Be good, then better. Write books, cure disease, make us proud, make yourself proud. And those who came before you, when you hear thunder, hear it as applause. Members of the class of 2021, you have already made us proud. Now please hear the thunder of our applause. It is now my pleasure to welcome Munashe Machoko, selected as your class of 2021 senior speaker for this afternoon's ceremony. Munashe.
Thank you. So, I am at JF Kennedy Airport. I make my way through the immigration line, and after giving the immigration officer my documents, he looks at me, he smiles, and he says, "Son, I hope you have packed enough for the Maine winter. Welcome to America." That's odd, I thought. I mean, a stranger I have just met is telling me about how cold winter in Maine is going to be. I mean, it's winter. How bad could it be, right? Well, I was soon to find it can be minus 30 Celsius bad, and bad here being extremely subjective, because on such a day, you'll probably see one or two Bates folks wearing t-shirts and shorts and just being casual about it. That was going to be my home, my new home for the next 4 years. Academic rigor is not just a phrase flaunted about here at Bates. Starting college as a biochemistry pre-med student, I was well aware of what I was getting myself into. You know, as students, we spend a considerable amount of time complaining about how often it seems professors think theirs is the only class we are taking. Maybe they do think like that, who knows? But it is during these times of mental discomfort that we are challenged to think outside the lecture notes, or rather the proverbial box, so to say. Be creative with our answers and our time management. I have more recollections of the late nights I spent with my statistics classmates in the basement of Hedge, outside of class time, trying to prove a theory, than recollections of the actual theories themselves. It is the feelings of camaraderie, collaboration, and mutual respect that make us Bateses special. The beauty and sometimes the danger of a Bates liberal arts education is that you will meet brilliant people in all fields who will make you question the field of study you have set to pursue. I cannot tell you how many times after having a casual conversation with a politics major or a medieval studies major that I convinced myself I would double major. And the economists in my class here were particularly very persuasive that for a time in sophomore year, I was an economics biochemistry double major. The interdisciplinarity of the classes for me was astounding. You know, I spent more time in a data science class talking about notions of feminism, racism, and privilege than the data science part. And for that, I am very, very grateful. In the summer of 2019, I was interning at Massachusetts General Hospital in the lab of a Bates parent. It was on a Wednesday afternoon when I got a text from one of my closest friends from Bates. So it read, "Hey, just to let you know, you're spending this weekend in New Hampshire." I was a little confused because I didn't remember making any specific plans. But I replied, "Oh yeah? Well, I didn't know," and then I put a laughing emoji. So that Friday, I got on the bus, and a few hours later, I was lying on the couch after dinner, having a discussion with my friend, his brother, his mother, on some issue in the Middle East. I felt really comfortable. Maybe way too comfortable. It felt like I was just back in Zimbabwe. To top it all off, his mother made us peanut butter sandwiches and lemonade the next morning to take with us for our kayaking. Exactly what my mom would have done if I were to bring my friends home. So my friend Brian, his twin brother Jeff, a childhood friend of theirs, and I, we all drove down to the lake. It was going to be my first time kayaking, so naturally I tell Brian, "Well, this is my first time doing this. You're gonna have to teach me." Brian looks at me and he goes, "It's basic physics, Munashe. I'm pretty sure you'll figure it out." And that was it. And I did. On March 11 last year, Corona was declared a global pandemic, and soon after, Bates had to evacuate the campus. Faculty and students had to transition to online learning, which none of us were accustomed to. But we figured it out. Countries were shutting down borders with no certainty on what the future held. But working with staff at Bates, we international students somehow figured it out. We're graduating into one of the worst job markets. But like we have done with all these other things, we will figure it out. To me, that's the power of a Bates education. The ability to know that whatever I might be going through, no matter how unfamiliar, I will certainly figure it out. And so will each and every one of my graduating peers with me here today. It has been a ride, and nothing can better top it off than celebrating this moment with our loved ones. For some of us, our parents could not make it here, but we know we are in the presence of those who love us. Our families, our professors, our staff, our peers, our friends, parents, and our community. Bates is not a perfect place. There are discussions that still need to be had. Policies, I strongly believe, will need revision and so many other things. But in that imperfection, I found a home away from home. A place where I personally felt I could belong, and hopefully, God willing, a college I would love for my kids to attend. And I hope mine is not just a unique story, but a sentiment that I share, at least in some respect, with each and everyone in the Bates class of 2021. May God bless the Bates class of 2021. Gracias.
Thank you, Munashe. Today, we honor 4 extraordinary individuals with whom our graduates will share the distinction of a Bates degree. For the first time in Bates history, we will confer these degrees virtually. We invited the 4 honorands to send us a video greeting to share with the graduating class, which will follow the reading of each citation and the conferral of each honorary degree. It is now my privilege to confer the honorary degrees for the 155th commencement of Bates College. I invite Malcolm Hill, Vice President for Academic Affairs and Dean of the Faculty, to join me for the presentation of the Honorands.
President Spencer, I present Yvon Chouinard. The highest point in Lewiston, Maine is the Thorn Crag Nature Sanctuary, which stands at a mere 510 feet of elevation. Nor does the city call itself home to any major international brands. Yet it is the birthplace of one whose ascents of both literal mountains and the peaks of commerce are the stuff of legend. Our first Honorand was born in Lewiston. He briefly called Lisbon home, and then, like so many before him, headed west. He is a sportsman, an entrepreneur, an environmentalist. At heart and in all ways, he is a climber. As a teenager, when he scaled Stony Point and Tahquitz Rock in Southern California, he found himself thinking about the climbing tools available to him, and he found them lacking. So he taught himself to be a blacksmith. His first products were pitons and carabiners, fashioned to be reusable and longer lasting than the others on the market at the time. It was around these early climbing tools that Patagonia was born. Pitons and carabiners were followed by hard-wearing rugby shirts, and then by the inimitable, yet often imitated, fleeces that are ubiquitous on every continent and on many college campuses. As Patagonia grew, so too did our guest's reputation for a commitment to work-life balance and an innovative style of leadership. The company has had on-site childcare since 1983. Employees are encouraged to ski when there's powder and surf when the surf's up. And in 1985, Patagonia began the practice of giving 1% of its sales to the preservation and restoration of the natural environment. In 2002, our guest co-founded a nonprofit corporation, 1% for the Planet, to encourage other companies to do the same. To date, these companies have donated over $270 million to environmental causes. Patagonia's mission is simple. We're in business to save our home planet. Our guest expounded on this mission in a 2009 essay saying, "Living a life close to nature has taught me to try and protect what I love by leading an examined life, bearing witness to the evils and injustices of the world, and acting with whatever resources I have to fight those evils. This is something everyone needs to do in his or her own way." I present Yvon V. Chouinard for the degree Doctor of Humane Letters.
From the humble Androscoggin to the mighty Pacific, you have scaled peaks both topographical and commercial, giving 100% of your passion for people and planet. Therefore, by the authority vested in me, I confer on you the degree Doctor of Humane Letters with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. We will now hear from Mr. Chouinard himself.
My brother graduated from Bates College, and now I'm very honored and thankful to be getting this degree. I was born in Lewiston Hospital, but my family left for California when I was only 7 years old. I feel like I've been a cantankerous Mainer all my life. In business and in life, I've always found that it's a lot easier to break the rules than try to conform to the existing paradigm. You invent your own games, then you can always be a winner. Yeah, when I was born, there was only 2.5 billion of us on the planet. And now there's 8 billion of us facing the largest existential threat that mankind has ever experienced. Climate change is trumping all other problems that we have. David Brower, the environmentalist, has said that there's no business to be done on a dead planet. There's probably nothing else to be done on a dead planet. If you find yourself getting depressed about these thoughts, then the answer is to do something about it. I found that the cure for depression is action. I also believe in karma. That's if you do good work, then good things will happen to you. So I wish all of you graduates the best of luck in doing something about the state of our home planet. And I'm very honored and thankful to be receiving this honorary degree.
President Spencer, I present Vanessa German. Our next honorand once said that her quest as an artist centers on the ever-evolving question of how to inhabit her humanity with as much dimension and courage as she can muster. Step into an exhibition of her work and you will see, feel, and breathe the manifestations of this quest. Her art is composed of found objects, mundane materials, made glorious by their placement next to, on top of, and surrounded by one another. The freight of daily life becomes something at once familiar and otherworldly in her hands, taking on spectacular new forms and telling us new versions of the stories we tell ourselves. Her work defies easy description. It must be experienced. If you were fortunate enough to visit the Bates Museum of Art in late 2019 and early 2020, you would have experienced her exhibition, Miracles and Glory Abound, in all its force and beauty. At its center was a reimagining of the iconic Emanuel Leut's painting, Washington Crossing the Delaware. The installation featured sculptures our Honorand calls power figures, mixed media assemblages of Black women in an exploration of the complex, contradictory, and contentious history of the United States. She communicates not only through material culture, but in spoken word, and she is in high demand as a speaker and performer. In all her work, she encourages us to tap into the humanity and power within us. The importance of this message and her artistry has been recognized with the Louis Comfort Tiffany Foundation Grant, the Jacob Lawrence Award from the American Academy of Arts and Letters, the United States Artist Grant, and the Don Tyson Prize from the Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art. Her genius is also recognized by the children of Homewood, her neighborhood in Pittsburgh. When on their way home from school, they saw her working on her porch, they swung into her yard on the front gate, begging to help, begging to be taught how to make art of their own. She gave them the supplies and said that art required only that they pick a color and a purpose. Thus were born Love Front Porch and later the Art House, now institutions in Homewood where our guests make space for art to happen. In a world of division, she is a uniter. In a world of heartbreak, she is all heart, passion and joy, vibrancy and vitality. In a world of waste, she is a reuser, recycler, repurposer, reviewer, reteller, reviver. I present Vanessa L. German for the degree Doctor of Fine Arts.
You are the power figure, the poem, the purpose, focusing our attention and widening our perspective, ensuring that art is for and by and in celebration of one and all. Therefore, by the authority vested in me, I confer on you the degree Doctor of Fine Arts with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. We will now hear from Ms. German.
Hey homies, what's up, what's up? Somebody just went on ahead and gave me an honorary doctorate this year, so I'm just gonna do a little talk in my Megan Thee Stallion inspired graduate gown outfit. I'm in the top floor of the art house in my doctoral robes because I'm an honorary, I got an honorary doctorate, which means I'm gonna have office hours soon, so y'all check for me. Check for me in my Instagram office hours. I really am going to try to do something like that. I'm on the third floor, and I just had to give a little commencement speech greeting, and I wanted to do it from up here because there are times in your life where things will just shine, 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 and it feels so good to be in that shine. And there are times in your life where shit ain't going to shine, right? And you're going to need people to stand by you. And hopefully you have people to stand by you and to be in support of you. I'm so fortunate that when the art house was on fire, some of my best friends in the city came and they just stood by me. And unfortunately, we had to stand and watch part of the house burn. But I have so much gratitude for them. So this is my commencement speech of gratitude to the class of 2021. This is the speech that y'all did not ask for, but I'm giving you anyway. So one of the speeches, here's my commencement speech. Hold on, let me turn around in a circle because there's a bus outside also. It's me in my doctoral robes, channeling Megan Thee Stallion. Who should be getting all the honorary doctorates this year. Thank you, everyone. Congratulations to the class of 2021. You did it. You made it. You passed the test. Some of the tests you didn't pass, but you mustered through what it took to get you to the next place, and now you're here, and we celebrate you. We sing you the lifting up song. We sing your name to the sky like a bouquet of balloons that we just let fly off of our tongues in glory that you have made it, and you are surrounded by your friends and your family, and they're cheering you on, and they're crying, and they're saying yes, 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 and somebody has ordered a cake and your name is on it, and if you get a piece of cake and your name is on it, send me a piece because I love cake. Congratulations to everyone, because look, this is the commencement speech also for everybody who graduated from 2020, right? Because 2020 was a lot. And for everybody who's graduated through the first 5.5 months of 2021, this has not been easy for me. I've been through a lot of challenges. I've had so many challenges. I'm more overwhelmed at this point in my life than I've ever been before. But I have so much gratitude for my sisters and for my friends and for anybody who has shared love with me, because it is so difficult. While it is really difficult sometimes for me to feel and to receive the love that people have for me. Because when I was really, really young, somebody very important to me told me that nobody would ever love me. And I think that that lie is so fucking sticky, and it's a horrible lie, but sometimes it shows up in my life. So I am graduating from carrying that lie around in my body right now. So this is me doing my little graduation speech from carrying the lie inside of me that I wasn't worth being loved or cared about. And that I'm here graduating. Move my tassel over. I'm graduating into the triumph of loving my whole self wholly and making more art and more opportunities to be as wholly human as I can be. So my graduation speech is about the secret wisdom of your heart and the secret wisdom in your life and the secret wisdom in your soul, and how there is so much subtle, generative, creative, powerful information swimming around us all the time. And inside of that powerful, magical information are gems of love and gems of deep endurance that are for us. So as you go forward into the world, not at all focused on getting a job, not at all focused on thinking about how you can be so and so productive for so many hours a day or whatever, but thinking about how you can inhabit fully your humanity, and dreaming about fully inhabiting your humanity, and every day inhabiting the fullness of the miracle of your humanity with as much wisdom and guts and honesty in heart and body and soul as you can muster. All right, y'all. We did it! Peace.
President Spencer, I present Rhiannon Giddens. On the haunting first track from her latest album, our next Honorand sings, Remember my stories, remember my song. These words from the title song of They're Calling Me Home are at once a plaintive cry and an urgent demand. They might also serve as a mission statement for the musical artist, archaeologist, archivist, and activist who utters them. She is a singer, a songwriter, a banjo player, and a composer. As the MacArthur Foundation put it when awarding her a Genius Grant in 2017, she is dedicated to enriching our understanding of American music by reclaiming African American contributions to folk and country genres and revealing affinities between a range of musical traditions, from gospel and Celtic to jazz and R&B. Her highest art and object is connection, across time, across genres, between cultures, beyond borders. You may know her from her solo work, where she has explored the experience of silence and forgotten people, or from the Carolina Chocolate Drops, where she helped revive the black string band tradition, or from television, where she was featured on the series Nashville and in Ken Burns's country music documentary. Whenever you encounter her, you sense the effort toward connection, the excavation of the past, the harmonizing of inner self and wider world. She's a Grammy winner, a No Depression Artist of the Decade, and the first awardee who is not a white man to receive the Steve Martin Prize for Excellence in Banjo and Bluegrass. Just last year, she was named Artistic Director of Silk Road, founded by Yo-Yo Ma to promote multicultural artistic exchange. In this role, she has already launched the American Silk Road, which celebrates the construction of the Transcontinental Railroad and the music of the indigenous, Irish, Chinese, and Black Americans who built it. She says, "Nobody is born who doesn't need music in some way. We are bound by the simple truth, sharing more in common than we may sometimes think, and helped by our Honorand to find points of connection to achieve harmony." I present Rhiannon Giddens Laffin for the degree Doctor of Music.
Across years and continents, between sense of self and the perceptions of the wider world, you find truth in both major and minor keys, mining meaning from music. Therefore, by the authority vested in me, I confer on you the degree Doctor of Music, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. We will now hear from Ms. Giddens.
Hi, from Ireland. I just want to say thank you so much to the Board of Trustees of Bates College for bestowing this honorary degree on me as a recognition of some of the work that I've been doing as a graduate of what I kind of feel like is the sister school, Oberlin, for various different reasons, particularly how the school was founded and who the school served in its early years and the activism that could be found at the school. I kind of feel like Oberlin has a similar spirit. And so it's a really lovely connection for me in a lot of ways. And so just really thank you so much for thinking of me. I'm stating the obvious, which I'm going to state anyway, in saying that this has been an unusual year. No one in the world expected this to be happening, but we have to make the best out of what we've got. And I know that everyone here, from teachers down to students to staff to everyone who is involved in the college, has been trying their best to make this year as good as it could possibly be. And so, graduating class of 2021, I know that this was not what you anticipated, but I think that a year like this, year and a half like this, can only serve you going forward into a very unpredictable future. We're entering an age that's really unprecedented, and in some ways it's cause for much stress, and I know it's something that wakes me up at 3 a.m. often, thinking about all of the challenges that face us as humanity, not just as Americans, but as the human race, with what's going on with our environment, a lot of the unrest that's seen around the globe, and of course this pandemic. But what do we have? We have what we have in our hands this very minute in the space that we are. And so what we can do is to let the challenge collapse us, or we can let it make us stronger. And it doesn't mean that it's easy. It doesn't mean that we don't have moments where we are collapsed on the floor crying. But what matters is what happens after that. and it's getting up after you've been huddled on the floor, which, whether physically or metaphorically speaking, I think many of us have been over the last year and a half. I think that you have to take that moment and go past it and go, okay, so now I get up and what happens now? And that's really what we have to do, is we have to get up and figure out what's next and use the tools that we've all gained over this last time. We've all gained an incredible appreciation for the flexibility that we are capable of, the ingenuity that we are capable of. I mean, when you think about how fast the vaccines were developed, like unprecedented. People had no idea that we could even develop a vaccine as fast as we did, and it was multiple ones, not even just one. You know, the way that we can solve a problem when we're forced to, you know, and I just think we have to give the same urgency that we've been giving the coronavirus to other aspects of our lives if we want to see a better future for you guys, for your kids, for my kids. They're in grade school right now. And for today, you know, we don't have to work just for 50 years, 100 years from now. We have to kind of do it at the same time as you try to make each day a better day, you know? So I think that we have to take the challenges and use them. I mean, it's a platitude, but it's true. I found when I was your age, it seems so long ago now, even though I still don't feel like I'm much older than 25, right? All of the either mistakes that I made or issues that I had to overcome or problems that made me think that I wasn't going to find a solution. All of those things actually made me a stronger person. It's not ease that makes us strong. It is hardship, you know? And of course we need the tools to go into that. We need the support to overcome that. It's easy to say, but if you don't have those things in place, it is hard. So as you go out into this uncertain future, I just encourage you to find those people who can support you through the challenges, who can give you the ideas and the inspiration and the encouragement to get up off of the floor, who give you a hand, who don't ask, why are you down there? Who just say, come on, I was down there yesterday. You know, let's figure out what we're going to do together. Find those people, find that energy, because that is really what we all need going forward, is the idea that we're holding each other up, and that just as we've all had to pull together to get through this coronavirus, we can pull together to tackle all of the things that are facing us and use it as an idea for making something better, not a reason to give up. So I'm actually quite hopeful after this year, seeing what we've been capable of, seeing what young people like yourselves have been capable of, how you've been able to, you know, adjust to all of these changes at a time where, you know, things were already quite up in the air, you know, as you figure out what you want to do with your life and who you are. And so I'll just end by saying that I have faith in you. I've seen what you can do, and I look forward to seeing what you continue to do as all of us support you going forward. Thank you so much, and congratulations.
President Spencer, I present Chase Strangio. In recent weeks and months, our final honorand has regularly appeared in news stories covering the fight for transgender rights across the country. As the Deputy Director for Transgender Justice at the American Civil Liberties Union, he is leading the charge to ensure that transgender Americans are treated equally under the law, that they are given the full rights of citizenship, and that they are seen. He says the ultimate goal of his work is making visible the things that we may not otherwise see, thereby giving us more to work within, building our disruptions out and change. He also acknowledges that the notion of visibility has long been fraught for trans people, bringing with it the possibility of exploitation and violence. He shifts this paradigm through an energetic drive for legal justice, and he has been a crucial force behind the most important victories for LGBTQ rights in the past decade. Indeed, you may be more familiar with the names of some of his clients than with his. He has served as lead counsel for Chelsea Manning, the U.S. Army whistleblower, and on the team representing Gavin Grimm, the transgender high school student in Virginia who was barred from using the boys' bathroom. And in 2020, he helped win the landmark case known familiarly as Bostock, where he successfully argued before the U.S. Supreme Court that Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 protects employees against discrimination because they are gay or transgender. The implications of this decision, which included the first case involving transgender civil rights to be considered by the Supreme Court, extend far beyond employment. An executive order by President Biden in one of his first acts as president made clear that the Bostock decision prohibits discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity in housing, education, healthcare, and credit. The work of our Honorand is, then, nothing less than securing the fundamental human rights, the fundamental humanity of all Americans. He has helped bring visibility to transgender Americans and assert their citizenship, their personhood, their very existence, in a society that too often tries to erase and deny them. He insists on telling their stories, laying bare the entrenched systems of power and oppression in the United States, and forcing a reckoning between who we say we are and what we actually do. I present Chase B. Strangio for the degree Doctor of Laws.
Activist and advocate, challenger and champion, you carry the standard and raise the bar for justice and visibility, crafting a better future by breaking with an unjust past. Therefore, by the authority vested in me, I confer on you the degree Doctor of Laws with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. We will now hear from Mr. Strangio.
Thank you so much, Bates College and the class of 2021 for this incredible honor. It feels altogether bizarre to be wearing this regalia and speaking to you from my Queens apartment while you convene in person in Maine. But it also feels quintessentially right now. There's something so fragmented about living in 2021, but also something so eternally fragmenting about major life transitions and all of the expectations that come with them. I simply cannot imagine what it has been like to navigate college in a global health pandemic and anticipating leaving this home, this college home, for such an uncertain and unpleasant world. I'm in such awe of the ways in which students of all ages have adapted to new environments of learning and new constraints on emotional and physical connection. Whatever comes next for each of you, you'll undoubtedly take with you the lesson that struck me most from the past year. We truly never know what's coming. And there is something so terrifying about relinquishing that control. And particularly for those of us who, perhaps reacting to our sense of social or bodily alienation, found comfort in overachieving, in creating certainty where we could find it in school, in grades, in externally validated achievements. If nothing else, 2020 and 2021 have taught me that my entire life, from court arguments to second grade, could be condensed into my tiny studio apartment in a matter of hours. That quite literally nothing is fully in my control except how I react to whatever life throws at me. When I graduated from college in 2004, I had no idea where I was going, really no idea who I was. One thing I knew for sure, or two things I knew for sure, were that I would never become a lawyer and I would never live in New York City. And yet, here I am speaking to you from my home in New York City, where I've lived for more than a decade, practicing law and challenging myself to always question that which I am certain of. I found my way into the profession in the city that I resisted the most, and yet both are home to me now. I went to law school, choosing a school that fit my values over ones that were considered more elite and prestigious, and thought I would never practice at an organization like the ACLU. I now have been an ACLU lawyer for 8.5 years. I keep surprising myself, and that's one of the gifts of being alive, I have found. I find comfort in living in contradiction, accepting that I definitely don't know what's coming, and hoping to meet others and myself with grace as we all continue to navigate the nonstop project of learning that comes with being human and alive. I'm so honored to share today with you. I'm so grateful that I will be a part of this moment of transition, of reflection. And I hope that in your journeys to whatever comes next, you are kind and patient with yourselves. Take a pause, don't do all the reading, stay up late, question what you think you know, and always take a chance on the thing, the job, the trip, the partner, the adventure that feels impossible. For so many of us, our existence seemed impossible, and yet here we are. Congratulations. Go out into the world and be disruptive. And thank you again.
Seniors, as you know, our compressed academic schedule this spring means that you will not receive your diploma as part of the ceremony today. In the coming days, the faculty will submit grades for seniors and will recommend for the degree Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science those seniors who have completed all appropriate academic requirements. Degrees will be conferred in accordance with the faculty's recommendation, and diplomas will be sent to you at the addresses you have provided. We will now proceed, as is our tradition, with the formal presentation of the Bates class of 2021.
Will the class please stand? President Spencer, I have the honor to present the class of 2021, both those who are with us in person and others who are unable to be here with us this afternoon. Please be seated. I will read the names in alphabetical order, but I will begin with the names of the seniors who could not be here today in person. Will the members of the class of 2021 please come forward?
Yichen Liu. Alexander Cameron McPhail. Meredith Marcille Melendi. Miles William Nabrit. Anthony Ikechukwu Okonkwo. Sally Harris Porter. John Cameron Rex, Jr. Catherine Abigail Salazar. Mamta Saroji. Sailor Marie Strugar. Eisho Takasuji. Aiden Temperino. Emma G. Ullman Kizel. Anna Lee Witt. India Woolmington. Emma Elise York. Hong Yi Jade Zhang. Wenjing Zhang. Yungshan Zhang.
Richard William LaBelle. Tegan Elizabeth Ladner. William Byrne Lahart. Enton Lamb. Angus James Lamond. Sophie Eva Landis. Nicole Sarah Lane. Kyle Jordan Larry. Jacob David Lawler. Mylan Jaden Lemon. Alice Lee. Ruby Dean Lightbourne. Jane Townsend Lipscomb. Michael Anthony Lombardi. Nicholas Castle Longo. Jason Knight Lopez. Noah Nathaniel Lachlan. Andrew Joseph Lohman. Hannah Blake Lucas. Monica Luna. Charlotte Jane Linsky. Erin Kathleen Lyons. Sarah Clark McCormick. Munashe Machoko. Anna Elena Mayhew. Julia Marie Malouf. Harris Paul Manganello. Anna Charlotte Mangum. Philip Jack Maniscalco. Adam Curcio Mann. Carrie Dowd Manuel. Colby Winton Marsh. Jennifer Ruth Martin. Eva Martinez. Juliana Michelle Martino. Roy Bellinger Matthews. Maya Pilar Muniz Matlock. Robert Peter Matson. Delaney Leah Mayfield. Priska Kimosi Mbunga. Molly Margaret McCool. Olivia Pallant McCulloch. Graydon Crawford Cook McGloon. Hannah Marion McKenzie. Zoe Winter McKinney. Armand Mecca. Samuel Abraham Melcher. Ava Joy Melendez. Labanos Gazacho Mengistu. Samuel Liam Jake Michael. Julia Marie Middlebrook. Fabian Yosef Mimietz. Elias Robert Mayen. Sophia Lambeth Miller. Rebecca Beth Minsley. Samuel Gettori Moronco. Prathana Miriam Mosherla. Luis da Molina Rueda. Samuel A. Montenegro. Natalie Rose Moon. Shane Michael Moore. Emma Shepard Morehouse Holbert. Nicholas James Morgashia. James Allen Mortimer. Georgia John Moses. Good job. Griffin Lee Mueller. Good job. Taggart Samuel Mueller. Dylan Patrick Muldoon. Andrew Scott Murdoch. Eleanor Louise Murphy. Erin Sheen Murphy. Kenza Nadifi. Ria Raj Nakam. Julia Ann Nash. Ryan I. Nealis. Nathaniel Barnes Newman. Ivy Tui Gia Wynn. Julian Seymour Octavius Nicholas. Jacob Solomon Nishimura. Jasmine Rithala Nataki. Lily Catherine Nygren. Catherine Alois Unzuki. Maeve O'Brien. Anthony Ochoa. Jake Henry O'Hara. Azusa Okada. Olivia Emma O'Regan. Brady Mark Orozco Herman. Travis Mark Palmer Jr. Vanessa Lee Paolela. Alexander William Payton. Thank you. Genesis Paulino. Colin Henry Pember. Austin Joseph Perlmutter. Catherine Ann Peterson. John Edward Charbonneau Phillips. Tucker Kingsbury Pierce. Varun Piplani. Madeline Grace Polkenhorn. Phineas Henry Pratt. Avery Christian Prince. Emma Frances Proietti. Nicholas Patrick Quill. Rianne Ananya Ramkasoon Hardeen. Evelyn Virginia Randazzo. Anais Ronk. Sarah Townsend Raphael. Shanze Shahazad Rauf. Brad William Ravenel. Nicole Nietas Recto. Joshua Red. John M. Riga. Patrick Joseph Riley. Daniel Scott Riggy. Dylan Patrick Roach. Ian William Robertson. Caroline Roddy. Christian Carter Ross. Ramon Sebastian Ruiz. Devin Clark Russell. Oliver Morgan Russell. Jacob Purdy Russett. Abigail Ann Ryan. Jivan Kaur Sandhu. Christian Sanfilippo. Marie Powell Sato. Isaiah Daniel Saunders. Jared Whittington Shell. Owen Thomas Schmidt. Maximilian Constantine Schneider. Alan Flannery Schroeder. Peter Grimes Schult. Christian Alexander Siani Beal. Lillian Elizabeth Scott. John Hartwell Scribner, Jr. Benjamin Charles Seaman. Maya Catherine Seckinger. Jason Charles Shackness Seeger. Brittany Sophie Sipe. Jillian Gabrielle Serrano. Austin Taylor Shaver. Keaton Gellert Shaw. Thomas Finn Shields. Jamie Lynn Siegert. Matilda Farnham Siegfried. McCoy Andrew Shireman Sykes. Darwin Raphael Silfa. Richard Tyler Simmons. Dylan Stannard Simon. Madeline Rose Serwa. Ilsa Smith. Margaret Page Smith. Parker David Smith. Zachary Patrick Smith. Good job. Oliver Sebastian Snyder. Carolyn R. Snow. Ayimi Salinas Soto Garcia. Volney Ayres Spalding III. Talia Boutwell Sperduto. Liam Robert Spillane. Mary Catherine Stanton. William Allen Stern. Lila Lee Stevens. Charles Angus Stewart. Samuel West Stoner. Congrats. James Benjamin Stratton. Ellie Brooke Strauss. Matthew Henry Suslovic. Hannah Margaret Sweeney. Daniel Lawrence Tepler. Hannah Hartman Tower. Catherine Sowley Toll. Anna Elise Truman-Wiss. Aktan N. Turdukulov. Bridget Rose Tweedy. Eleanor Rainey Vance. Muskan Varma. Jack Liam Vinci. Megan Ann Waldron. Tiana Devine Walker. Michael Fitzpatrick Walsh. Xiang Wang. Shane Ryan Ward. Haley Michelle Washington. Peyton Clark Weatherby. Hannah Rose West. Patrick Charles Whalen. Malia Louise White. Nicholas Ragnerud White. Alexander Reed Wilcox. Teresa Grace Wilmot McMahon. Camden Ty Wilsey. Calvin McManus Wilson. Elliot Houston Wilson. Cassandra Faye Wilson. Robert Tyrell Preston Winkler. Patrick Emmons Windells. Sarah Kestrel Wood. Emily Hannah Woods. James George Steele Woods. Aliyah Bashani Yusuf. Yua Joe. William Barkley Zimmerman.
Yay. I now ask the members of the graduating class to stand in order that we may honor you for your achievements, your contributions to Bates and wider communities, and the promise you hold as you begin the next chapter of your lives. Please stand and let us drown you in applause. Please be seated. Thank you. Following the benediction, I ask the graduates to remain seated and in place until the platform party and the faculty have recessed. We ask members of the audience to remain in place until the recessional is concluded. Following the recessional, members of the audience are asked to depart from the quad promptly. We invite you to take a to-go meal available near your student's residence as you leave campus. These may be found at the Olin Arts Center, the Lane Hall parking lot, Muskie Archives, and Hacker House. Thank you all for being with us to celebrate today. And now, Multifaith Chaplain Brittany Longsdorf will offer a benediction.
Please join me for a closing word of blessing and benediction in whatever posture is most at home for you. Holy One, sacred many, we sit together today to share a sacred pause at the end of an unexpected year. This class of graduates has grieved, celebrated, adapted, and studied in ways no other Bates class ever has. Seniors, may all who you love, near or far, encircle you now in this final moment of reflection and blessing. In the future, when someone asks you about the challenges you faced in your life, you may think of these last years, not with sorrow alone, but also with pride and revelation. Cradled in the palm of this place, you have found ways to connect deeply amidst isolation, prioritizing friendship and authenticity against all odds. You have learned and studied at a daunting pace and found that your brilliance has robust roots and can thrive even in new environments. You have held tightly onto your values of justice, equity, and compassion, overcoming obstacles to lovingly create progress. You have grown by standing still, by soaking up each tiny nook and cranny of this place and discovering what is essential to who you are, You have reveled in the nostalgia of your early Bates years, full of iconic dances and lingering commons dinners, cherishing memories amidst change in profound ways. You have watched yourself transform, no longer the same person you were 4 years ago. You have courageously let your dreams change and found new ways to illuminate the world by being exactly who you are. You have lived into your hopes for this moment, this commencement ceremony that affirms that you have reached the summit of your Bates education. All that you have worked for is honorable and good and complete. Breathe deeply into this moment. Be here now and pause in the fullness of this sacred ending. May you feel in your soul all that you have gained and all that you have added to this place. May you sense in your bones the resilience and courage that has nestled inside of you in your time here. And may you know in your heart that this is a home you can always return to. May it be so. Amen.